Hello and welcome to Thread Sketching in Action. I'm Deborah Wirsu of deborahwirsu.com, and today I'm bringing you one of my travel photos in stitched format. Looking out my window this morning, it's not so misty here right now, but we certainly had a stormy and wet night. Now the wind is all that's hanging around, as you can see in the tops of the gum trees beyond the house. Misty Morn is inspired by a photo I took while in China in January this year, on a very cold and misty morning. It was also very smoggy, which wasn't so wonderful. I've begun by stitching the background of this piece and elected to show you a more interesting part of the creation of this thread painting, which is what comes next. The fabric background is made up using a variety of construction techniques. My aim was to create depth in the scene so that some elements of the plant would appear closer to the viewer and others further away and more blurred. I don't actually know what the plant is, but being midwinter at the time, it was leafless, only having a few remaining seed pods clinging to the stems. My other aim in this piece was to work with the monochromatic colour scheme, so everything used here is a shade of blue. Blue is a cool colour which has a calming effect, and I think this choice adds to the sense of cold, mist and stillness in the scene. Unlike our windy morning here in Melbourne, that day in China was very still, with no wind to shift the fog or the smog. Various depths of blue thread are used in the picture, with the more grey blues, the more muted ones, being used for the distant plants, and the darker, stronger blues for the foreground plants. As with many of my thread paintings, the stitching process requires constant decision making. The overall colour scheme, and which colour to use underneath or on top of another, which stitch technique to use, and how sparse or dense to make the stitching, how I intend to finish the piece. It's a constant process and my mind is on the go all the time. I often only have a vague idea in my mind at the outset of a new work. I like to let the art of stitching allow the work to emerge and develop. I think this makes for more spontaneity in a piece than one where every last detail is planned at the outset. Although this is only a small picture, it is possible to create some wonderful effects simply with layers of colour and stitch. If you'd like to learn more about this and other techniques, why not take an online class with me? Visit www.learn.deborahwirsu.com to browse existing courses, and keep a lookout this weekend for the release of a new series of classes, Textile Art Tasters, Bite-Sized Inspiration. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to your company again next time.